There we were, heading east across the Atlantic Ocean, stowaways on a giant airborne fortress. Though time was short, we made sure to study up on our unknowing host, Arpeggio. While attending a prestigious boarding school, the young Arpeggio excelled in all subjects, but he never managed to keep up with the other boys physically. Sadly, his wings, due to their small size, were useless for flight. Furious at his feeble body, he focused his powerful mind to search for a cure in the works of the Italian Renaissance masters. Their notebooks provided the springboard for this sinister young genius, and it wasn't long before the Claw Gang took him on as chief inventor. His talents must have been at work repurposing all the clockwork parts for their criminal schemes, and now this mastermind is in possession of all the parts. It's only a matter of time before he puts them back together, and when that happens, well, I'm not gonna let that happen.
Sly Cooper and the gang in Anatomy for Disaster. Also, that shot with clockwork just gave me goosebumps. I don't know whether it's simply that it's past midday and I'm still in pajamas because I've been recording straight or what, but either way, it's an emotional moment. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamak. This is Let's Play Sly 2 Band of Thieves. In the last episode, we failed. Jean Bisson stole all our clockwork parts, then sold them all to Arpeggio, even the parts that we didn't have. So, Arpeggio has the full set, and he's the inventor of the group. We do not have the money, unfortunately, to buy any of these, and apparently I was wrong. The most expensive is Murray's ability, and the cheapest is Sly's. Fortunately, we don't have to go straight into it. We don't need to get all the clue bottles immediately. We do have a little bit of time, but honestly, we're probably going to want to check in and try and get to the clue bottle ability first, because reasons. Anyway, over here is actually the Contessa's blimp, so Arpeggio is the one that made that for her. This world is a bit different from the others, in that there's only two types of guards. And if we can find someone, I want to show this off. Oh. Well, okay, there's technically three types of guards. Similar to how the outhouses would burst open with ducks, or how the gargoyles would come to life. These eggs all over the place, they're mech eggs. You can smash them endlessly, they keep respawning. Every now and then there's going to be a little mech inside to raise the alarm and cause trouble, and thank you for the diamond. But anyway, let's have a look at this guy. Good reason for thief reflexes, I guess. He's on stilts. It's actually a little bird on a tall suit with a rocket and a flashlight attached to it. Rocket pack. Basically a lot of cool tech, as you'd expect from the team's inventor. Kind of funny that Raleigh with the Fiendish 5 was the first that we took out, but it's the inventor of the Claw Gang that we fight last. Where's another guard type? That's another one of the flashlight guards. Okay, there. More small birds, but these ones are packing jetpacks instead. Trust me, it's a jetpack. I'd have to get into a fight to show it off. Yeah, so they've got those little laser flyers that we had in the other worlds. Yeah, they used fire as an attack. Oh, also, you can see the new gadget on the grid even though we technically don't have it yet. It's great out there. let's go for that. Ah, someone's shooting at me. Oh boy, that was a very close miss. Can we smoke bomb our way out of this? Yes, but then someone else found us almost immediately. Watch those rotors, they will damage you. Watch the spotlights. Basically, this is as hazardous as you'd expect a final world to be. I can't believe I didn't get shot there. You know, for what I said about the Thief Reflexes skill, actually I am getting quite a bit of use out of it. Oh, we didn't get a chance to show that, so let's just get into a fight with this guy as well. Well, I didn't really get to show it, so I'll just say what it is. Whenever they use the... oh, there you go. When they use their basic jumps to get around, it creates a fire ring around them. I should also point out that the little jetpack guards are actually fire resistant, and they don't get insta-killed by it. So in this world, Murray's elemental attacks are basically useless. And specifically Murray's, because the others don't rely on it. Sly's electric attacks work fine, and nothing of Bentley's ever got mitigated. Darn it, I thought he had something valuable. Anyway, mission. You have to go over there. Getting all the clue bottles in this place is actually kind of tricky, and if you really want to cheap out, you can wait until you get to one of the final missions, because it gives you a trick that makes it easier to get to all the clue bottles. Here's the problem. There's actually very little time to even use the final gadget you get from the safe if you do it that way, which is why I need to... Anyway.
My instruments have picked up large magnetic fields radiating from inside that blimp. If Arpeggio's already started reassembling Clockwork, that's where you'll find him.
Sounds good. I'm on my way.
Don't waste any time here, Sly. Get to the blimp and take some recon photos. To build the plan, we need to know how close they are to reviving Clockwork.
Relax, Bentley. I've got it under control.
Yeah, that blimp wasn't this far down earlier. For this quest only, they lower it a bit so you can actually glide to it. Anyhow, Jean Bisson's battle theme, it's really good. Not denying that it's probably top contender for my favourite tracks from the game. But there's one other that I really like, and it's the indoor theme for Arpeggio's airship, because listen to this. Just listen to this music.
I had no idea they could reassemble Clockwork so fast!
Calm down, Bentley. He might be in one piece, but he doesn't appear to be, you know, alive. Let's stick to the format here. How about some recon photos?
You're right. We need to be informed to create a plan of action. Try to get a shot of Clockwork's head, a mech egg, and one of those spinning magnetic inducers. They seem important to the procedure, but stay away from the guards. If you get detected, we won't have time for a second chance. These magnetic inducers seem to be holding the clockwork parts together. I'm sensing radioactivity from inside those mech eggs. I wouldn't get too close.
So what Bentley said earlier is actually kind of true. Do not kill any of the guards here. It will instantly fail the mission. You are free to pick their pockets though.
Clockwork appears completely inanimate. We still might have a chance. Sly, I'm detecting voices from the front of the blimp. I think it's Arpeggio.
Alright, let's get to it.
Neela? Neela's here too! There he is, the mastermind behind this blimp and the source of all our problems. I can't believe it! She must have been working with Arpeggio all along! I don't need to study those photos to see the writing on the wall. Clearly, Neela and Arpeggio have conspired together to rebuild Clockwork, and it looks like they're dangerously close to realizing their goal.
Look, Bentley, I know it's not your style, but I need a quick plan of attack. Try to think of a way, any way, to stop Clockwork from getting reassembled.
Well, those magnetic inducers seem to be holding the parts together. If you reverse their polarity, it should pull Clockwork apart. Unfortunately, the inducer speed control station is locked down tight. Pickpocket keys for the 4 patrolling guards to get at it. Then you'll need to manually reverse the polarity of each inducer deck at the top of their rotation.
Consider it done.
Alright, so there's why they punish you for a game over. Should you kill the guards before you're ready? Because then you'd have no guards to pickpocket. But you also can't get the keys beforehand. Okay, let's wait for the further one to make a pass before we sneak in there. There's some barrels in the middle if you need somewhere to hide in a hurry. Not from guards that know you're there, but if you just need to take cover for a bit. Last one over there. So I believe the term used is leitmotif. I don't know the exact definition or usage, but basically it's for when you've got a certain tune associated with it, where they keep making variations of it, but you can always pick it up as the same thing. And apparently this is just the most blatant use of the Sly Raccoon game's leitmotif. Like, if you go and listen to the music for the other worlds,
Decks are spinning slower. Get up there and reverse the polarity of each deck.
if you go and listen to the music for the other worlds, then you can actually pick up on it. It's just very subtle. But here it's all just orchestrated and it's really great, and people just don't talk about it. Like TV tropes crowning music of awesome. It's just Dimitri. I just fell into my death. Oh man, that took a lot of HP off me actually. But yeah, people only ever remember Dimitri, and I don't like that. I want to hear remixes of this song. The title of which, unfortunately, is Clockwork Assembly, meaning that it is heavily spoilers, and I can't actually talk to people without spoiling the game. I can't point them at it without spoiling the game. So yeah, I just hope that people watch this and hear about how much I like this song and then go to listen to it on their own. Please, we need remixes of this. As well as remixes of the battle with Jean Bisson, I guess, but most importantly this one. Anyway, third one left. Am I going to fall to my death getting it? And that is job complete. Now we've scrapped Clockwork. So much coin we can't collect.
What's all this then? The magnets have been reversed. But, by Jove, it seems to have locked the clockwork parts into place. Excellent.
Sly Cooper! Of course this would be your doing.
Ah, Mr. Cooper. No doubt you believed a reversal would pull the old bird apart, eh? But it seems to have had quite the opposite effect. I'm truly grateful. When fully powered up, I'll join myself to its circuits and be born anew!
All this because you can't fly. You're pathetic.
Immortality! Immortality is what I seek. The other Claw Gang members were much too short-sighted. They were satisfied using the clockwork parts to drive their various trivial schemes. But not me. No, I saw them for what they really were. The keys to life eternal.
So, what? You had Neela put me on the scent back in Cairo, and then waited while I stole the parts from the other Claw Gang members, all the while not arousing any suspicion that you were behind it all?
You make it sound easy, Cooper. I had to carry your pathetic gang through that first set of heists. I was overjoyed when Arpeggio let me toss you in jail. I could finally go after the parts myself.
Ah, but acquiring all the parts was only half the equation. Think, Cooper. What kept Clockwork alive for thousands of years?
He was fueled by his hatred for my family.
Splendid! That's right. Hatred. Putting his gears and wires together was child's play, compared with accumulating that much hatred.
You can't make people hate.
Oh, my poor naive boy. My meticulous mind has found a way. As your hippopotamus friend will attest, spice consumption makes you both angry and susceptible to hypnosis. The Contessa, hypnotist extraordinaire, devised a way to command people through the use of flashing lights. I've created this blimp to be a massive transmitter of those precise light frequencies. The only problem I faced was finding a suitable source of light waves.
The Northern Lights. You've been collecting Northern Light energy so you could hypnotize everyone beneath the blimp.
Ah, hypnotize those who'd eaten food covered in illegal spice. Thank goodness for Dmitri. Through his nightclub, he got the whole city to consume the spice.
You're going to Paris to unleash a hypnotic light show of hate. That's outlandishly cruel.
Cruel, perhaps, but necessary to give Clockwork his spark of immortality. Ah well, my new body awaits me. Be a dear, Neela, and keep him covered. Ta-ta!
Stupid Arpeggio. I double-crossed the Cooper gang, Interpol, and Carmelita. What made you think I wouldn't do the same to you?
This is preposterous! You're my protege, not the next candidate for my immortality. I demand you exit the Clockwork frame or...
And he's dead.
Behold, Clockla is born!
Yeah, this is definitely worst case scenario territory. 88% complete though.
As we all know, things are looking grim. Neela has joined herself to the Clockwork frame and the Union has produced Clockla. She's out and free to terrorize the world. This blimp is still in motion to Paris. I could only assume Arpeggio's autopilot will activate the hate hypnosis light show. If that happens, there will be no stopping Clockla. She'll be immortal. But we still have a chance. In her new form, she'll need to draw a lot of energy from this blimp's engines to stay strong. If we can disable the engines, that should be enough to weaken her to a state in which we can attack. Getting at these engines will require all three of us to work together in perfect harmony. We've pulled off some tough jobs in the past, but they were just the warm-up round for what we'll be going through tonight.
Alright, so we've got a lot to talk about there. And incidentally, we also need to get all the clue bottles before we start Sly's mission. Ooh, golden vase, 720. I get the feeling that I need to get the feral pounds to get at certain clue bottles. But yeah. And now we have an overworld hazard. Clockla is going to be flying around this blimp. Now then, where was I? I was trying to find Clockla. Well, here's the thing. In one way, it's really intimidating to have her just constantly pestering the overworld, but on the other hand, she actually doesn't do much. I think the number of times Clockla has ever done anything, and look, she's even got spotlights out like she's actually a threat or something. She doesn't do an awful lot. Like, I think the only thing that she can do is throw mech eggs at you or maybe push you off the edge of the blimp, but it's a bit unintimidating, to be honest. Anyway, let's see if I can discuss important things while I also hunt for treasure and for clue bottles. First of all, I have no words for just how impressed I was at the narrative the first time I saw that. Like, man, there's a huge scheme going on here with the... like, the Claw Gang all setting up for this big hypnosis show, and actually Arpeggio planning to hijack it so he can reactivate Clockwork and become immortal and gain a new body and all that. That was actually a pretty big moment for me because I didn't play games with strong narrative. I read books if I wanted story. It was a pretty avid reader, to be fair. But I went to games when I just wanted some mindless nonsense. So coming up against something where they actually had a big plan going on, I have to wonder if I'd be as much of a fan of Ace Attorney and such if I hadn't had something like that. Or maybe I'd have been a bigger fan because that would have been the first time I saw it. Who knows? Neela betraying Arpeggio, I mean, that makes sense. Because that's basically Neela's character trait. She is a traitor who she betrays anyone and everyone. You just can't trust her with anything. So the fact that Arpeggio didn't see it coming is kind of a strike against him, because he's supposed to be smarter than that. But I have watched a reviewer for this game, and they did point out something that's actually a bit of a letdown about that betrayal scene. Like, Arpeggio was the mastermind behind this whole thing. It was his big plan. And yet, we don't hear anything about him. We just see him at the end there where he explains it all, and then he gets stabbed in the back by Neela. And the thing is, Neela actually isn't very well developed either, because we don't know why she does these things. Yeah, she does them because villain and an awful person, but she just doesn't get any development besides being the cowardly snake. In fact, that's probably an insult to snakes to refer to as such, but she's a backstabbing traitor, a slimeball who can only get her way by convincing other people to do her work for her, because even though she said, "I was overjoyed when I had the chance to leave you guys behind," she never succeeded at any of this. The only time she got us was when she caught us off guard. After that, every time, even when she ambushed us in the Jean Bisson trains, she just... Her character is based around being hateable and being beaten by us. That's it. Mind you, she's very good at being hateable and being beaten by us. And with all that said, I feel I need to point this out. Technically, we've already won. Do you remember how we got onto this blimp? Oh, man. That was a surprising landing, wasn't it? We got onto the blimp by draining the Northern Lights battery and hiding inside it. In fact, that's what the safe house is for this chapter. The safe house is the Northern Lights battery. It's the only safe place we have because it's the only place we know they aren't going to look. So far. But that means that, like he said, we need a specific pattern of lights in order to do this. And we drained the Northern Lights, so technically when we get to Paris it's not going to do anything. We're still going to have Neela flying about, but we kind of killed the stakes for the whole thing. And all that said, this is actually kind of a shorter world than the rest. So the game's kind of peaked by this point. All that said, I'm still going to play through the rest of it and beat it 100% because it's me. We've gone this far doing it, why not go all the way? One little bait and switch that I never even noticed in the book until I started reading it again for sake of this LP. Arpeggio. So basically it has the 4 Claw Gang members except the Contessa, and it talks about where each one is. It's a sort of bio about their backstory and such, and nothing too important for the grand scheme of things. But it also has the location that they were last seen. So it says India for Rajan, Paris for Dmitri, so and so forth. Here's the interesting part. It doesn't mention Arpeggio's blimp at all. It mentions him last being seen in an opera house in London. So, in my thoughts, that means that they intended for you to read that and think, oh, we're going to go to London for the final world. But no, it's actually the airship over Paris. And if you look at the background like this, you can actually see the city line. So, we're actually getting really close. There's not much time to lose. Plot-wise. Outside of the plot... Right! See there? Mech eggs. They pop out of the mech... yeah, the mechs pop out of the mech eggs. As you'd expect. Ow. Oh, no, 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 no. I think I'm gonna die. I didn't die, but I came really close. I thought it was going to rubber band me like it does for the normal danger areas, but not the case. I need to get back up to the upper decks. There's an interesting bit of collateral damage in that the smart guards for the area are vulnerable to fire insta-kills, but the jetpack guards aren't. So basically the only thing worth hitting with an insanity strike is the little guards, because the big ones will die the moment someone fights back. But then the little guards, because they can't be insta-killed by fire, they're going to take reduced damage from it, and they'll just take all hits to take out. It's a weird economy for the final world, but who said that the final world should be easy? I hear a bottle. Oh boy, we've got a lot of bottles to collect, don't we? Let's try to end off the episode with some back loot. We can run that back to the safe house for extra money because we need that feral pounce. I don't know whether it's absolutely necessary, but it's definitely going to be easier than anything else we could do. Except I keep seeing bottles here and there. Points for him for trying to hit me from that distance. You're just not very good at it. Yeah, this is the clue bottle that I'm talking about. I think you need either the hover pack or Murray's turnbuckle launch and to stand in just the right spot to make that jump to get at it, but also the feral pounce can do it, which is why I'm looking for back loot that I can use to buy it. Although pocket loot certainly helps. Large gold bar. Even so, I still really love this game. Even the things that feel like filler aren't really filler when you get down to it, because they're more like... Okay, for an example in Ace Attorney. People don't like the third case in Ace Attorney 1 because it feels like it's just a waste of time. But the thing is, it gives us important character development for Maya. Like, if you didn't have it... We need to see what it's like for Maya when she's not having... What Maya is like when she's not having the worst day of her life.
You and I are going to have to work together.
Happy to have you along, Bentley. What do you need me to do?
Pickpocket the guard's keys to the engine room. Once you've got the door open, I'll take over.
Okay, you should take your position. It's not gonna take me long to lighten these guys of their keys.
I'm not doing this quest, but it's also disabled my chances of getting at the back loot, so I guess that's the episode done for today. Until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.